Today in this video we'll be learning about dynamic programming. This is a very lengthy module and it has very deep concepts, so I have made the video in a very slow manner and careful manner to explain each and every concept with much clarity. Okay, and if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The first topic is what is actually dynamic programming. Before we have learned about the greedy algorithm and the other algorithms, but in dynamic programming we'll be having the table, mainly we'll have a tabular form, and to find out the sequence of steps here we'll be referring to the table and applying the values here. Okay, we'll be getting to know what is this exactly when we solve the problems. Okay, see here, dynamic programming is mainly an optimization over plain recursion. In recursion, what is the thing? If we see about, for example, consider Fibonacci series. In this we'll be returning fib n minus 1 and fib n minus 2. So here if you look at the graph here, see here, for 4 we'll be returning 3 and 2, and for 3 we'll be returning 2 and 1, and for 2 it will be 1 and 0, both at this place. So what's the disadvantage is we'll be calculating the sum 1 plus 0 two times here, right? See, the sum 1 plus 0 is getting calculated two times, and if we increase the graph for the higher numbers there will be many much repetitions. To optimize this, what we'll be doing is we'll be storing this value inside an array. Okay, so we need not calculate again this value here because it is present already in the array. That's what dynamic programming is. Okay, so if you consider an array here, this will be initialized as 0, this will be initialized as 1, and next one will be the sum of these both, and the next one will be sum of these both. In that way we need not calculate again 1 and 0 as in recursion. So this is the advantage of dynamic programming. Okay, so there are very many wide applications of dynamic programming. Let's see a few of them. The first one is knapsack problem. In knapsack problem, we have been given a weight here and we have been given small items here. You have to calculate which item can fit here within the given weight while maximizing the profit. Okay, so we'll be using dynamic programming to solve this problem. The second is optimal merge patterns. It means arranging all the files in a sequence in a shorter time using optimal merge patterns. Okay, for this also dynamic programming is used. And the third one is shortest path. That means from one area to another area there will be many intermediate areas. By using which area if you go, it will be the shortest. Okay, that also dynamic programming helps a lot. Okay, so we'll be looking at many examples and algorithms. So let's move on to the next topic. First one is multi-stage graphs. Okay, so we have two approaches, forward and backward approach. Don't worry about all of these complexities, it's very easy and simple if you understand. I'll be going through each of these topic in a very detailed manner, so listen carefully. See here, firstly the whole graph is divided into 5 parts. This is the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 and stage 5. Okay, so in stage 1 we have the vertex 1, and in stage 2 we have 4 vertices, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In the third stage we have 3 vertices, 6, 7 and 8. In fourth stage we have 9, 10 and 11, and in the fifth stage we have 12. So what's our main aim? Our main aim is to find out the shortest distance from the starting point till the ending point. The starting vertex is 1 and the ending vertex is 12. Okay, so we have many paths here, like going from this path like this or like this, and which is the most optimal path that we have to find out. Okay, so by using dynamic programming, how we will do is these are the weights of the edges. See here, consider an edge from 1 to 2. These are the vertices and the edge weight is 9 here. Okay, so firstly we'll be constructing this table. I've already filled the values and I will be telling you why I filled the particular values which I have written here. Okay, so initially you will have to create a table with 3 rows here: vertex, cost and D. Vertex you will write from 1 to 12 because we have 12 vertices here. Okay, we have 12 vertices here, we'll be writing from 1 to 12, and then the cost and D will be kept empty. Here no value will be there. Okay, pick up pen and paper and make this table in a paper and just write the values from 1 to 12. You need not write everything what I have written here. Just make some use of your hand also for better understanding. Otherwise if you just look at it, it will be very hard to understand. If you write something and note down the values what in the middle some values, then it will be much more easier for you in the exam. Okay, so it's totally up to you. I am just giving an advice. Coming back, we have the main formula here, which is the cost of the vertex. Okay, cost of the edge. Now see, this is the formula which we'll be using. the most. See, we will be writing the cost of I comma j as I is the stage number and j is the vertex number. For example, if I have to represent this one, this vertex in this formula, how I'll represent? The stage number is 4 here. So I'll be writing here 4 and j is the vertex number 9. So to represent this vertex, I'll be writing cost 4 comma 9. What is cost 4 comma 9? The cost of 4 comma 9 means how much cost is required to travel from 9 to destination. This is the destination 12. From 9 to 12, how much it is required? See here, only one option we have, 4. So the cost of 9 is 4. Alright, that will be noting down here. This one, 4 and 12. The cost is 4 and the ending vertex is 12. Alright, but before that we have to fill the 12th value. For the 12th value, for reaching from 12 to 12, there is no cost required. So cost will be 0 and D means where we are reaching the destination. Destination from 12 to 12. So we will write here 12. Okay. And for 9 we will write 4 and the destination is 12. So 4 comma 12 here. Then for the next vertex 10. Cost of 4 comma 10. What is cost of 4 comma 10? That means from 10, if you have to reach the vertex here, how much it will be cost? It will be 2. So we'll be writing cost as 2 and D as 12. Okay. Similarly for the third one, 11. We'll be writing cost of 4 comma 11, which is in the fourth stage. So 4 and 11 because it's 11th vertex, and that will be for reaching from 11 to 12 will be having the weight 5. So the cost will be 5 here, 5 and the destination is 12. So these 4 values are over. Okay. Now we have to we have to fill the remaining values. The stage 4 and 5 are over here. We are remaining with stage 1, 2 and 3. Now let's move on to the stage 3. In stage 3, if you observe, we have 3 vertices here, 6, 7 and 8. Okay. And the cost from 6 to 9 is 6. 6 to 10 is 5. And from 7 to 9 is 4. And from 7 to 10 is 3. From 8 to 10 is 5, and 8 to 11 is 6. Okay. Now for from each vertex we have 2 paths, this path or this path. From 7 also this path or this path. From 8 this path or this path. Okay. So we have 2 paths from each of these vertices. Now what we have to find out is choose between this path or this path. Okay. From 6, if you want to reach 12, which path you will choose, this one or this one? Which one will give the minimum cost? What does minimum cost mean? We already know from 9 the minimum cost is this one, from 10 the minimum cost is this one, and from 11 it is this one. Okay. Now we have to just choose if this path will give me the shortest distance or this path. Okay. So if I go with this path, I have to go through 9. So the total cost will be 6 plus 4, which is 10. From here, if I go, I'll have to go from 5, then 2, which is 7. So in this case, the path through 10 is shorter. So I'll be choosing this path. Okay. If you see the formula, this is the same thing. How will we represent this vertex in the form of the formula? This formula. It is in the third stage and the vertex is 6. So I'll be representing cost of stage number, which is 3, and the vertex number, which is 6. Okay. Cost of 3 comma 6. Cost of 3 comma 6 will be minimum of these two. What are these two? These two are the path from this path or this path. So it's composed of two things. First one is C of 6 comma 9 and cost of 3 plus 1 comma 9, or C of 6 comma 9 plus cost of 4 comma 9. Now what is C of 6 comma 9 and cost of 4 comma 9? Cost of 6 comma 9 means the edge cost. See here, this one, this is C of 6 comma 9. Okay, this one, and plus cost of 4 comma 9. Cost of 4 comma 9 means the cost of 9 means from this what is the minimum cost, that we already have here 4. Okay, so this one will be 4 plus what is the edge from this one, 6. Same thing we are doing for here also, 5 plus 2. Cost of 6 comma 10 that one edge, the second edge, plus the cost of 10, that is 5 plus 2. We'll be calculating the minimum among these two and we'll be selecting that one. Okay, so if we calculate the minimum among these two, we'll be getting 7 as minimum. So the cost of 6 is 7. So the cost of this vertex is 7. We'll be writing here 7. Just as we wrote for 9 as 4, right? Like that we'll be writing for 6 as 7. And from which vertex we got it? Which is the destination vertex? From 6 we travel to 10. So in this case the destination vertex is 10. Okay, this is the destination vertex, cost and destination vertex. All right, this for the sixth vertex. Now let's take another example for 7. From 7, if you observe, we have two paths, this one and this one. Okay, now either I can go from 4 plus 4 or 3 plus 2. 4 plus 4 is 8, 3 plus 2 is 5. So this is the shorter path. So how will it be represented as a formula? This vertex can be represented as C of cost of third stage comma 7. Okay, cost of 3 comma 7. To calculate this, we'll be using two formulas here. The cost of edge from 7 to 9 plus cost of 4 9 means cost of the edge from 7 to 9, which is this edge, plus what is the cost of 9, or what is the cost of the edge from 7 to 10 and the cost of 10. Okay, so in this case we'll be substituting both formulas here. Both the values we'll be using here, which is the cost of the edge is 4 and the cost of the vertex 9 is 4, and here it is 7 comma 10 means 3, the cost of that edge, and this is the cost of the vertex 10. Okay, this is 2. So this is minimum one, so this will be the cost. Okay, this is the cost. And from which vertex we got the cost? From traveling to the 10th vertex we got the cost, right? So we'll be writing here the vertex number and the cost below 7 as 5 is the cost and 10 is the vertex. All right, so this is what we'll be doing for the rest of the vertices also. In the all the stages we'll be just looking two things: how many possibilities are there from this one, and we'll be calculating if I add this edge to the cost of this, and if I add this edge to the cost of this, and if I add this edge to the cost of this, among these three which is the minimum. The minimum I will be writing there as cost, and which destination I reached, that destination I will be writing here. Okay, cost and destination. All right, in that way we'll be filling the whole table here. And as you can observe here, I have written below 16 2 or 3. Okay, because both from 2 or 3 you will get as like this. Okay, see here you will get here as 7 and you will get here as 9, the cost of 2 and 3. If you go in this way it will be 16, here also you will be getting 16, 9 plus 7 and 7 plus 9. So any you can choose, it's your wish. Okay, so after getting that, what you have to write is start from here, from the first vertex. Okay, in the first vertex where you will go, 2 or 3. I choose 2. So if you go to 2, next where, 7. So 1 2 7. From 7 where you will go, 10, then 10. From 10 where you will go, 12 12. So this is the shortest path from 1 to 12. Okay, this is the forward approach. The same thing you will be using in the backward approach also, but there's some few slight differences. That is, you will be not be starting from here, you will be starting from here. Remember, it's the opposite, it's the opposite thing. If it is a backward approach, you will be starting from here. Okay, if it's the forward approach, you will be starting from last. Okay, and the source and the destination are same only, and everything is same. Just the difference is when you start from here, suppose let's solve for the stage 1. For reaching from 1 to 1, what is the cost? It is 0. And where you are reaching? You are reaching from 1. So you'll be writing cost as 0, and from where you are coming, that one. Okay, and then we'll be moving on to the stage 2. In stage 2, first one is 2. For 2, where you are reaching to 2 means from which vertex you are reaching to 2. One vertex, only one vertex is coming, incoming. So the D will be 1, and what is the cost here? 9. So cost will be 9, that will be writing 9 and 1. For the second one, 3, from which vertex you are reaching 3? First vertex, and the cost is 7, so we'll be writing 7 and 1. For the 4 and 5 also the same thing, because there is only one vertex, through which we are reaching these all vertices. Okay, then coming to stage 3, we have multiple vertices reaching to 6. See, 6 is we can reach 6 from this one and this one also. So in this case we have to choose which is the minimum. How we will calculate? What is the cost of 2 plus this edge? Means what is the cost of 2? It is 9 plus this edge is 4. This is one possibility. Second possibility is cost of 3, which is 7. 7 plus what is the cost of this edge? It is 2. 9 plus 4 or 7 plus 2. This is shorter one, so I'll be discarding this one and I'll be choosing this one. What is the cost? Cost is 9 and the vertex is 3. Okay, so I'll be writing 9 and 3 below 6. Okay, below 6 I have written 9 and 3. Similarly for the seventh one, there are 3 possibilities. First one is this one, second one is this one, and third one is this one. For each I'll be calculating what is the cost here, what is the cost here, and what is the cost here, along with the sum of the edges pointed to 7. Okay, then I will be choosing the minimum one, what is the cost, and from which vertex I came. That I will be noting down below this. Okay, in that way I will be filling till 12. All right, and after that we will be starting from here. This is the backward approach, so we'll be starting from here. Okay, in forward approach we moved like this, and then we will start from here and choose where we have to go. Okay, that was forward approach. In backward approach we'll start from the first and reach back, and again we'll come in the backward direction. Okay, so this is why it is called backward approach. Okay, don't get confused. So starting from 12, where we came to 12 from 10 we came, go to 10, 7. In that way we will see for 7 and 3. From 3 it is 1, so 1 is the last one. So this is the shortest path from the vertex 1 to 12. Okay, going on with the Warshall's algorithm, I wanted to understand what is transitive closure. See, this is the graph which will be given, and we have to write down the adjacency matrix and transitive closure. To you know what is adjacency matrix? In here, between two vertices where we have an edge here, there I will be marking as 1. Between A and B I have an edge, I will be marking here as 1. And for the rest of the cases, like between A to C there is no edge, so I'll be writing as 0. Between A to C I'll be marking as 0. In that way I'll be filling the adjacency matrix. And transitive closure means it's the same as adjacency matrix, but here I'll be checking if I can travel from one point to another point. Consider any 2 points, A to B. I can travel from A to B, yes. So I'll be writing there 1. Okay, and next point I will consider A to D. Can I travel from A to D? Not directly, but indirectly also I can travel. Okay, A to D can be traveled, so I'll be marking as 1. So in that same way, can I travel from A to A? Yes, like this. So I'll be marking as 1. Now, but A to C to A cannot be traveled. See, there is no way for me to travel from C to A because the arrow is here and there is no more edge outgoing from C. So C's value will be 0 for all the vertices because there is no outgoing edge from C. Okay, so in that way we will be constructing the transitive closure by the given adjacency matrix. Okay, so let's move on to the Warshall's algorithm. Firstly, we'll be drawing the adjacency matrix here, and we'll be selecting the first row and the first column. And whatever row and the column we select, that should be constant. No changes will be made here. So the changes will be made in these elements, these three, and these three. So total 9 elements we have to change. Now how the change will be taking place? See here, for this element, if you select and check if there is change to be made or not. See the row here, it is 1. See the column here, it is 0. If it is 1 and 0, you can't make a change. 0, 0, no change. Only when both have 1, then only will make a change. See here, 0 and 0, no change. Then this one, 0 and 1, no change. Where do we have a change? See here, at this point we have a change here. At this point, if you consider for this vertex, this is 1 and this is also 1. So this will become 1 here. Okay, that change I have written here. This became 1 here. Rest all is same. Okay, rest all of the elements are same here. All right, then I'll be selecting the second row and the second column. Okay, then I'll be doing the same thing for these elements, this one, these two, and these elements. Okay, I'll be checking for each element the row and the column. 1 0, no change. 1 0, no change. 1 1, there is a change here, so that I have made as 1 here. Okay, and this one, no change. So like that, check for all these. If there is a change, make it, or else leave it as it is. Okay, then after making the changes, select the third row and the third column, and do the same thing here also. Check where there is 1. 1 is here, but all these are zeros, so there will be no change possible for any of these. This will be the same here. Then selecting the fourth column and the fourth row, I have to make changes. So seeing the first element, I have 1 here and 1 here, so I'll be making this as 1 here. This one, 1 1, so this is already 1. This one, 1 and 1, so I'll be making change here. So in that way, I'll be checking this row also, all 1 are possible, so I'll be making as 1. And this row, it's not possible because this is 1, but here I have 0, so this will be remaining 0 only, and this is the same as the previous one. Okay, so this is the last one. After selecting all the rows and the columns one by one, we'll get the transitive closure. Okay, so this is the solution for the Warshill's algorithm. Floyd's algorithm is also the same as the previous one, but here we'll have the weights instead of ones and zeros. Okay, so see here how to construct the adjacency matrix from this graph. See here, 4 vertices A, B, C, D. Write in the rows and the column, and then check for each. The diagonal elements make as 0, and after that check this one, A to B. Is there any edge from A to B? No, because it is from B to A. From A to B there is no edge. From A to B there is no edge, so I'll be writing there as infinity. Okay, and like that we'll be filling all the rows. From A to C there is an edge which is having the weight 3, so I'll be writing that. So after filling the adjacency matrix, we have to use the Floyd's algorithm to find the shortest path. Okay, so first we'll be selecting the first row and the first column, and then we'll be trying to make changes to the these elements. Okay, here the diagonal elements will not be changed, so changes will be made to these 3 elements and these 3 elements. Now let's see the first one, which is this element. Here we have to see the row and the column. Here I have 2 and here I have 3. What is 2 plus 3? It is 5. So I'll be cutting this and writing 5. Okay, so I have written 5 here. For the next one, it's infinite and 2. So infinite plus 2 is also infinite, so I'll be not making any change here. And here it's infinite plus infinite. 7 is smaller, so I'll keep it as it is. And here infinite plus infinite, and here it is 6 plus infinite, and here it is 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. It's less than infinite, so I'll make it as 9 here. After making the changes, select the second column and the second row. Do the same thing for these elements, and after that make the changes and select the third column and the third row. Same as the Warshill's algorithm, but here we'll be seeing the weights also. Okay, after that you do all of these elements, you'll get the shortest path from all the vertices to the other vertices. Okay, so this is the final answer for the Floyd's algorithm. This is the question which is given to us to construct a binary tree for the following data. Okay, so two things are given to us, items and frequency, and for each of the item I'll be taking some numbers. Okay, like for A I'll be taking 1, for B it is 2, C it is 3, and D it is 4. Take in increasing order. Okay, take 1 to 4, it will be easy. Next, the first step what you have to do is make a table. Okay, in this table you will have the how many rows are there, means 1 2 3 4, so 4 elements are there, so from 0 to 4 you have to make a table. Okay, after making this table, the first thing what we have to do is we have to fill all the diagonal elements as 0. Okay, so these are the diagonal elements, I'll be filling it with zeros. And in this problem for optimal binary tree, we'll be just considering the upper half of the table. Okay, so here we'll not be filling any values, we'll be filling values in this way. First these 3 elements, then these 3, then these 2, then this one. Okay, so in that way we'll be going on. So the first element is 0 and 1. What I will be filling here, that I will be finding out. Okay, by using a formula. That formula is C of x comma y is equal to minimum of C of x comma something plus C of something comma y, and in this we'll be filling the values by looking at the row number and the column number, okay, plus weight of x comma y. I'll be telling you what are all these variables being represented for. So initially we'll take the example of 0 and 1. So first we have to find out the cost of 0 and 1, okay. So in this case x is 0, y is 1, all right. Then we'll be filling the values accordingly in this formula, okay. So it will be minimum C of 0 comma something plus C of something comma 1, okay, plus weight of x and y. What is x and y? It's 0 and 1, okay. Now what are the values we are filling here? That we will be finding out. See here we have to find out the cost of 0 and 1. So the first value means how many keys we have now? 0 and 1 only, right? From 0 to 1 only two numbers are there, 0 and 1. So the first number will be ignoring and will be remaining with only 1, okay. So here we'll have to fill only 1. So if I fill here 1, the previous number I have to fill here, okay, 0. See, nothing, it's very simple. What the interval you have been given with, take that interval, find out the number of keys. Two keys are there here, 0 1. If it was 0 to 5, the number of keys will be 0 1 2 3 4 and 5, okay, but in this case only it is 0 and 1, so it will be 0 and 1 only, okay. And after finding that, we have just one key left because the first key will be ignoring. One is there, fill the first place in the second column here with 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0, so I'll be filling here with 0, okay. You'll be understanding when I will be taking further more examples, okay. So for now just listen this: minimum of C of 0 and 0. From this table you have to find out what is C of 0 and 0. C of 0 and 0 is nothing but 0, so I'll be writing here minimum of, instead of C of 0 and 0 I have here 0, so I'll be writing 0 plus C of 1 and 1. C of 1 and 1 is also 0, so I'll be writing here 0, and then I'll be adding W of 0 comma 1. What is W of 0 comma 1? 0 comma 1 is this one, okay. Means if it's 0 comma 1, you have to take this digit. What is 1 frequency? It is 0.1, so I'll be taking here plus 0.1, okay. Then minimum of 0 is 0 only, 0 plus 0.1 it is 0.1, all right. So how we got 0.1? By considering what as the number here. In this place what number we enter, that you have to remember, okay. That is 1 here. I know it's a bit confusing now, but if you see two or three more insertion of the numbers, then you will understand, okay. So here I have 1 and here I got 0.1, okay. So I'll be filling this row, this cell with 0.1, and above that I'll be writing 1 here, okay. Now let's see for the second one. By using the same formula, I have to fill the this row, okay. We'll be moving diagonally. We have to fill this one, means 1 and 2. We have to find out C of 1 comma 2, okay. By using this formula I will be writing minimum of C of 1 comma something plus C of something comma 2 plus W of 1 comma 2, okay. Now in this place we can fill only one digit. Why? Because we have two keys, which is 1 and 2. From 1 to 2 we have two numbers, 1 and 2, but we'll be ignoring the first number, so we'll be remaining with 2 only. We'll be filling here with 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. We'll be writing here 1. Then after that finding out the value of C of 1 comma 1, which is 0, plus C of 2 comma 2. 2 comma 2 is also 0, so I'll be writing here 0 plus W of 1 to 2. 1 to 2 means you have to always see the right one, okay. For right one, 2, what is the frequency? It is 0.2, so write here plus 0.2, okay. Finding out that, we'll get here answer as 0.2. How we got 0.2? By considering what number here? In the second one we took here 2, right? So we'll be writing here 2, okay. So this will be filling here for this one 0.2, and the number which we took here is 2. So we'll be writing here 2. Okay. Now let's take a third example. C of this we'll be filling this cell. In this cell it is 2 and 3. Okay. C of 2 comma 3, that is equal to minimum of C of 2 comma something plus C of something comma 3. Okay, plus W of 2 comma 3. Now see, now tell me what keys we have here to fill. We have 2 to 3, we have two keys. First one will be ignoring, so we'll be remaining with only 3. So we'll be filling here 3, 3 minus 1 2. So we got 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. Both of these are 0 here. So I'll be writing here minimum of 0 plus 0 plus W of 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3, we will always look at the right one, which is 3. So what is the frequency of 3 here? It's 0.4, right? So I'll be writing here plus 0.4. Okay, so this I'll get the answer as 0.4. And for by considering what value we got 0.4 here, by considering the 3 value. Okay, so we'll be writing here 3, and this number will be filling in the this one cell. Okay, here we'll be having 0.4, and by what number it is 3. Okay, now the last one is 3 comma 4. Let's see how to do that. I'll be using the same formula, which is C of x comma y. So I'll be writing what we have to find out, C of 3 comma 4. Okay, so I'll be writing C of 3 comma 4, that is nothing but minimum of C of 3 comma something plus C of something comma 4. All right, plus weight of 3 comma 4. Now see, we have two keys here, 3 and 4. We'll be ignoring the first one, so we'll be remaining with 4. So we'll be filling here with 4, and 4 minus 1 is 3. And then we'll be seeing the table and filling the values of C of 3 and 3, which is 0. See, C of 3 and 3 is 0 here, 0 plus C of 4 and 4 is also 0, plus what is the frequency of 4? W of 4 is 0.3 here. See, it's 0.3. We'll be writing here 0.3. Okay, now we'll get the answer as 0.3. How we got the answer? We consider the value 4 here, so we'll be writing here 4. Okay, so this is the value which we have to enter in this cell. Okay, here we will write 0.3, and from the number 4 we got. Okay, so this was for the first diagonal. The second diagonal is also same, but a little bit different. Let's see how it is. For the second diagonal also, I'll be using the same formula, and the first element which we have to find out is 0 comma 2. Okay, so I'll be writing here C of 0 comma 2, that is equal to minimum of C of 0 comma something plus C of something comma 2. Now since we have 0 to 2, we have two numbers here, 0, 1 and 2. So I'll have another possibility also, 0 comma something plus C of something comma 2. I mean, here we can fill either 1 or 2, right? See here, from 0 to 2 I have the keys 1 and 2. Okay, before I had C of 0 to 1, so I just had 0 and 1, but here I have 1 and 2 also, so both I can fill here. Okay, 0 is not considered, only I had key here 1, so ignoring the first element, I'll have two more keys here, 1 and 2. So in the first place I'll be filling 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0, and the second row I'll be filling with 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, then plus weight of 0 to 2. All right, now we'll be seeing the table and filling these values. What is C of 0 and 0? It's 0 plus 1 and 2. C of 1 and 2 is 0.2, comma C of 0 comma 1, 0 comma 1, it's 0.1 plus 2 and 2, 2 and 2 is 0. Okay, now after getting this, we'll have to find out the minimum among these two. Okay, and add it with W of 0 to 2. 0 to 2 means we have to find out, we have to sum all the frequencies from 0 to 2. Means from 0 to 2 it is the frequency of 1 and 2 combined, means 0.1 plus 0.2. All right, then finding out the minimum among these two, will get this is the minimum 0.1. Okay, plus this one 0.1 plus 0.2. What answer we get here is 0.4. Okay, from which we got answer? From the second part, right? See, in the second part we choose the minimum, The second part corresponds to this one. In this one, we have selected the element 2. So here I will write 2. Okay. So we'll be using this value and filling in the cell number 0 comma 2. 0 comma 2. I'll be filling 0.4 here, and by considering what number we got, it's 2. Okay. So I'll be filling here 2. Similarly, the second one for 1 and 3. Let's find out that. I'll be writing down the formula. C of we are finding for 1 comma 3 is equal to minimum of C of 1 comma something plus C of something comma 3. Since we have two possibilities, we'll be writing 2 times plus weight of 1 comma 3. Here I can fill the numbers 2 and 3, ignoring the first one. So 2 and 3 I can fill. So first I'll be filling 2, 2 minus 1, 1, and 3, 3 minus 1, 2. I'll be looking at the table and filling in the values. What is C of 1 and 1? It's 0. 0 plus C of 2 and 3. 2 comma 3 means this one, it's 0.4, comma 1 and 2. 1 and 2, it's 0.2, plus 3 and 3. 3 and 3 is 0. Okay. After filling this, what's the sum of frequencies from 1 to 3? If we have written 1 to 3, we'll be not considering 1. Okay. We'll be considering 2 to 3. Okay. It's 0.2 plus 0.4. Okay. So it will be 0.2 plus 0.4, which is 0.6. Now the minimum among these two is 0.2. Okay. So I'll be writing the final sum as 0.2 plus 0.6, which is 0.8. Now from where I got the minimum? From the second one. Looking at the second one, I took the number 3. Okay. So I'll be writing here 3. I'll be filling this value inside the cell. Okay. So it will be 0.8 and 3. Then the next one is 2 and 4. Write down the formula. C of 2 comma 4 is equal to minimum among C of 2 comma something plus C of something comma 4 plus weight of 2 comma 4. Now I have two keys here, 3 and 4. Ignoring the first element, I'll be filling with 3 here and 4 here. Now looking at these values from the table, I'll be filling the values here. I'll be getting 2 comma 2 is 0 plus 3 comma 4, it's 0.3, and 2 comma 3 0.4, 4 comma 4 is 0, and weight from 2 to 4. 2 to 4 means we have to ignore the 2 and consider 3 and 4 sum, which is 0.4 plus 0.3, which is 0.7. The minimum among these two is 0.3. So I'll be writing here 0.3 plus 0.7, that is equal to 1. And from which element I got? This is the first one. So looking at the first one, I got from 3. So I'll be writing here 3. Okay. So I'll be filling this value here 1.0, and the number is 3. In the same way, I'll be filling the second last diagonal. So we have to find out the cost of 0 and 3. So in this case, we'll have 3 elements, among which we have to find out the minimum. C of 0 comma 3 is equal to minimum of C of 0 comma something plus C of something comma 3. We have to write out 3 times because we have 3 key values now. And the weight of 0 comma 3. Alright, now see. What values can we fill here? Ignoring the first element, I have the keys 1, 2 and 3. So I'll be filling it with 1, then 2, then 3. Looking at the table and filling out the values, 0 and 0 is 0 plus 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is 0.8. The next one 0 and 1, 0.1 plus 2 and 3, 0.4, and 0, 0 comma 2, 0.4 plus 3 comma 3 is 0. Plus what is weight from 0 to 3? Ignoring 3, we have to calculate the sum of frequencies of 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3, if we calculate the sum, we'll get as 0.7, and the minimum among these three is this one, 0.4. So 0.4 I got from the third element. Okay, so I'll take 3 here. From the third row I got, so this is the element which I need, and 0.4 plus 0.7 is 1.1, and the element which I get here is 3. So I'll be writing here 1.1 and 3. Finding out for the 1 comma 4, c of 1 comma 4 is equal to minimum of c of 1 comma something plus c of something comma 4. I'll be writing down the same thing 3 times. And finally adding the value of weight of 1 comma 4. The three keys which I have ignoring the first element is 2, 3 and 4. I'll be filling with 2, and here 1, then 3, then 4. Look at the table and write the values here. C of 1 comma 1 is 0 plus 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 is 1, and 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 is 0.2 plus 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4 is 0.3. Then the last one, which is 1 comma 3. 1 comma 3 is 0.8 plus 4 comma 4 is 0. And the frequencies sum from ignoring 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4, if I add, I'll get 0.9, and adding this I get what is the minimum among these three? It is this one, 0.2 plus 0.3, that I'll get 0.5. 0.5 plus 0.9, it is 1.4. From which element I got? This is the middle one. So looking at this row, I get here the element 3, and here I'll be writing 3. So I'll be writing this cell with 1.4 and 3. Okay, and the last one is, for the last one also the same thing, but here I'll have 4 keys. Okay, c of 0 comma 4 I have to find out. C of 0 comma 4 is equal to minimum of c of 0 comma something plus c of something comma 4. I'll be writing down this 4 times because I have 4 keys now, and this is the last one for filling this for filling the table. Okay, after writing this we have 4 keys now, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so I'll be filling the table here, the 4 numbers. First I will see these are the keys 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'll be writing the numbers here 1, 2, 3 and 4, and adding with weight of 0 comma 4. Now what is the values of these? Minimum 0, 0 is 0 plus 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 is 1.4. 0 comma 1. 0 comma 1 is 0.1 plus 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 is 1, and 0 comma 2, 0.4, and 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4 is 0.3, and 0 comma 3. 0 comma 3 is 1.1. 1.1 plus 4 comma 4 is 0. Adding it with the frequency sum from 1 to 4, it is adding all these numbers I get as 1, because the sum of all frequencies should be 1, and finding out the minimum among all of these. Okay, so what's the minimum among these 3? Among these 4, it is this one. I'll get as 0.7, right? So 0.7 plus 1, it is 1.7. And from which element I got? The third one. So looking at the third one, I got from element 3. So I'll be writing here 3. I'll be filling this value to the last cell, 1.7 and 3. Now once you are ready with this table, constructing the binary tree is very easy. See here, what number we have here? 0 and 4, right? First write here r of 0 comma 4. Okay, and r of 0 comma 4 corresponds to the number 3 here. So write 3 and make a circle here, and make two branches here. Okay, and in the first branch I'll write the same thing as 0 comma something and something comma 4. From this 0 from here and 4 from here, and I'll be filling this blank with the value 3. If I fill here with 3, I'll fill here as 2. Okay, now 0 comma 2, looking at the table here, 0 comma 2 I get here the number 2, so I'll be making 2 and making a circle. The same thing I'm repeating. 3 comma 4, 3 comma 4 I get here as 4, so I'll be writing 4 and making a circle. Next again the same thing, make two branches and write here r of 0 comma something, r of something comma 2. Okay, and here also r comma 3 comma something and r of something comma 4. Now since I have the root here 4, I'll write here 4, then 4 minus 1 3, 2, 2 minus 1 1. Okay, now the values from the table, if I look, r of 2 comma 2, what is r of 2 comma 2? It's 0, so I'll be cutting this. 3 comma 3 is also 0 and 4 comma 4 is also 0. I'm just remaining with 0 comma 1. What is 0 comma 1 here? It is 1. Okay, so I'll be writing here 1 and making the circle. We are done. We are the all the four elements are included here, so I'll be drawing the simplified diagram here. After getting this, we'll be drawing the diagram as 3, 2, 1 and 4. This is all what you have to find out in this problem, and this is the optimal binary tree. This is the question which is given to us in an abstract problem, and we have to find out the most optimal solution for this problem. Okay, so first what we'll be doing is we'll be writing down the weights and the values like this. The vi is nothing but the value, these are the profits, and these are the weights. Okay, individual weights. I've written these four values in this column and the four weights in this column. Okay, and after that we have to create a matrix, and how many items we have, that many rows we'll have. Okay, so if items are from 1 to 4, we'll have the rows from 1 to 4, and a 0 will be added from here. Same for the column also, 0 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, and then we'll be making a table here. After that, our next step is to fill the first row and the column with zeros, and we'll be continuing from here. Okay, now see, this is the weight, and we have been given with the weight 5. See here, the maximum capacity is 5 here, so we'll be writing maximum capacity as 5, and so for that we'll have another column here till 5. Okay, now what we'll be doing is we'll be comparing this with this one. Okay, this is the weights which is given. So suppose that it's the containers containing 0 kilogram, and it can contain 1 kilogram, 2 kilogram, 3 kilogram, 4 kilogram and 5 kilogram. Okay, these are the containers, and these are the weights which are given to us. Consider this as 2 kg of rice, 3 kg of rice, 4 kg and 5 kg of rice. Whenever it doesn't happen, we'll fill with 0. For this to happen, it should at least be 2, right? 2 kilogram container can fill with 2 kilogram of rice, so here we will fill as 2 kilogram of rice, and 3 also can fill, 4 also can fill and 5 also can fill. Okay, so we'll be filling with 2's here. Actually we should not fill the weights here, we should fill the values here, means how much profit we will get, that we will be filling here. Okay, so here it will be 3, 3, 3 and 3. The profit is 3 for this one. Okay, so and after that, coming to the next one, in next row it should be at least 3 kilogram, right? So 3 kilogram container can only fill this, so it will start from here, and before that the previous value will be copied. Okay, and when it is 3 kilogram, at that time I will get the profit as 4, so I'll be writing here 4, and after that 4, and after that, see, after that I can fill 5 kilograms, right? So if I consider the previous object also, you have to consider the previous object also when we consider this row. Okay, so if I consider this row, I'll be considering these two also, and if I consider this one, I'll be considering all three. Okay, so here what's the maximum capacity? It's 5, but if I fill just with 3, 2 will be left, right? And that 2 can be filled from here. So what will be the total profit? From this I'll get the profit as 4, and from this I'll get the profit as 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. So taking up the maximum capacity of the container, 3 plus 2 which is 5 kilogram, I'll get the profit as 4 plus 3 which is 7. So I'll be writing here as 7. Alright. Then coming to the next row here, it is 4. So maximum should be 4. Before 4, the previous value will be copied. When it is 4, at that time I will get the profit as 5. Okay, I'll be writing here 5. And when it's the capacity for 5, I can either choose this or I can choose these both. If I choose this, I'll get the profit as 5 and 1 will be remaining. See, this is the container for 5 and I have the kilogram as 4. Then if I fill this with 4, 1 will be remaining and that will be wasted because I can't fill either of these. But instead, if I choose to fill 5 with both of these, I'll get the profit as 3 plus 4 which is 7, and that is more than this. And also the capacity will be utilized in full. Okay, so I'll be choosing these two instead of this one. Okay, so I'll be choosing this two and writing the maximum profit. Same thing I'll be doing for here also. Here it is 5. So 5 means if I have to fill this object, I have to have the container containing 5 kilograms. So before that 5 kilograms, all the values will be copied from the upper row. Okay, and coming to the last one, I can fill this 5 container with this 5 kilogram and get the profit as 6. But instead, if I fill the container with 2 and 3, I'll get the profit which is 4 plus 3 which is more than 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. I can get by filling these two instead of this one. So I'll be going with this and writing here 7. Okay, so after drawing this table, the next step is very simple. Write x1, x2, x3 and x4 for 4 items. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. After that, from this whole table, choose the maximum value, which is 7 here. But this 7 is repeated here also and here also. So how much up it goes, go till that point and choose this point here. Okay, I mean, if it is 8 here, I'll be choosing 4, but it's 7. 7 is repeated here and here also it is repeated. So this is the ending point of 7, which is the maximum element. So first 7 occurred here. That means I'll go to 2 and below x2 I'll be writing 1. Okay, and these both I'll be putting as 0. Then after 7, what is the next least here? It is 4. 4 is repeated here? No. 4 is repeated here? No. 3 is repeated here? Yes. Again 3 is repeated here? No. So the second least element, the second maximum element is 3, which is not in this row. Okay, see, in this row it was 7, this row is selected. Then the least element which is next in the next row is 3, which is not getting repeated again. So here I'll be selecting this one, and at the place of 1 I'll be writing 1 here. Okay, so this is the knapsack solution, 1 0 solution for this problem. This means that x1 is nothing but the item 1 and x2 is nothing but the item 2. So 1 1 means I'll be selecting the item 1 and item 2 which has the values weight as 2 and 3. So the whole capacity will be utilized and I'll be getting the maximum profit which is 4 plus 3. 7 is the maximum profit I can get by utilizing the whole value. Okay, so this is the solution, and the maximum capacity is maximum profit is equal to 7. Okay, in Bellman-Ford algorithm, we'll be finding the shortest path from the source vertex to all other vertices. Okay, so this same as Dijkstra's algorithm, but here we'll have the negative values also. So Bellman-Ford algorithm is designed for the negative edges also. Okay, so first we'll be finding out how many vertices are there: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So number of vertices is equal to 4. If vertices are 4, that means I have to repeat this algorithm 4 minus 1 times, that is 3 times. Okay, to get the optimized solution. So what I'll be doing in this is, if 1 is the source vertex here, I'll be writing 0 here and rest all I'll be writing infinity. Okay, then after that I'll be checking from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2 I can go and I can go through the edge 4 which is less than infinity. So I'll be cutting here and writing 4. Okay, from 1 to 5, from 1 to 4 I can go from 5, I can go through 5. So here it's infinity, 5 is less than infinity. I'll be writing here. And this edge from 4 to 3, from 4 to 3 what is the distance here? Till 4 it is 5, and from 4 to 3 it is 5 plus 3, which is 8. 8 is less than infinity, I'll be writing 8 here. And from 3 to 2, from 3 to 2 it is 8 minus 10, which is minus 2. It is less than 4, I'll be writing here minus 2. So one time it is over. Okay, again I'll be doing the same thing. From 1 to 2 it is 4, but it is more than minus 2, so I'll be keeping it as such. And from 1 to 5, from 1 to 5 it is, from 1 to 4 it is through 5, so it will be the same. From 4 to 3 it is 5 plus 3, which is 8, that will be the that will be also same. And from 3 to 2, from 3 to 2 it is 8 minus 10, which is minus 2, this will also be the same. So as we can observe that the changes have stopped to happen, so that means this is the shortest path. So from each vertex we will be writing the shortest path. From 1 to 1 it is 0, and from 1 to 2 it is minus 2. From 1 to 2 it is minus 2, and from 1 to 3 it is 8, and from 1 to 4 it is 5. Okay, so these are the shortest path from the source vertex 1. Okay, if it is a bigger graph, and suppose that there is a graph with having vertices like 7, at that time we will be repeating the process 6 times, because at that time there can be happening many changes if you keep on repeating the algorithm. Okay, so at that time we have to do more number of times the process. So since this was a small graph, 2 times doing it was enough. Okay, but if it is a bigger graph we have to do more number of times, because small changes can happen in bigger graphs. Okay, so this is the final answer which we'll get for Bellman-Ford's algorithm. In this question we have been asked to find out the shortest path from A to all the vertices using Bellman-Ford's algorithm. Okay, so firstly we have to calculate how many vertices are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, 6 vertices are there, so I have to make a table here. So this table has columns from A to F, which are representing the vertices here, and the rows number are from 1 to 5. Okay, so we are doing 5 trails because total there are 6 vertices. We have to do total number of vertices, means 6 minus 1, 5 trails. Okay, initially I will initialize the source vertex as 0 and all the other vertex as infinite. Okay, right here for each of the other vertex infinity. Then after that you have to do the trails. How to do the trails? And here also the first source vertex distance will be 0 from itself, so here all it will be 0. You have to start from here. For filling each of these values we'll be using a formula. Okay, so the first one is, what is the distance from what's the distance from the source vertex to B? See, dB means the distance from A to A to B, A to C, A to D, A to E and A to F. Okay, so first we'll be finding out the distance from A to B. Okay, means A to B. Initially it is infinity, but when we look at the graph we'll get A to B we have 2 here, so 2 is less than infinity, I will mark it as 2. Okay, so the next one is A to C. A to C I can get here directly, it is 4, I'll write here as 4. A to D. A to D I don't have any direct path, so I can't write anything, I'll be marking there as infinity. A to E. A to E is also, there is no direct path. And A to F. A to F also does not have any direct path. Okay, I'll be writing infinity. That was the first trail. In the second trail, what I will do, I will look at the previous value. See, this is the formula which I will be using. The formula is, if I have to calculate for dB, I'll write here dB is equal to minimum of dA plus C of A to B. I'll be explaining each of these what it represents. See here, dA plus C of A plus B. What does that mean? dA is nothing but the initial value of A. Okay, means if if you are calculating for the previous one, if you are calculating for this row, we'll be looking at this value. Okay, here it is 0. So here I will be writing minimum of 0 plus, what is C of A comma B? C of A comma B means cost of H from A to B. Cost of H from A to B. What is the cost of H from A to B? It is 2. So I'll be writing plus 2. And the second one is dB. What is the previous value of dB? It is 2. Okay, so I'll be writing here 2. Now seeing the minimum between 2 and 2 is 2 only, so it will not change. Okay, so it will be 2 only here. I'll be writing 2 here. Similarly, for the C, DC means for the source C, what I'll be doing is how many ways I can for reaching C. I have how many ways? See, the first way is to reach C is from A to C I have direct. Second is through B. Okay, so 2 ways I have, from B and from C. Just look at this circle here, how many arrows are coming in and from where these arrows are coming, that we will note down. So for DC the formula will be minimum of dA plus cost of A to C, comma dB plus cost of B to C. See, dB means B, from B also I am coming to C, right? So dB plus cost of B to C. The what dB has, that value plus the cost of this h, because we are traveling from B to C. Okay, so that I will be writing here. Calculating the minimum among these two, and also the third one, which is the initial value of DC. Okay, so if DC initially is already less than these both, then I need not change it. Okay, so we'll be looking if the value is same or not. Okay, now the first one, filling in the first one, minimum of dA. What is dA? Look, we are doing for this row, look at the previous value of dA, it is 0. Right here 0 plus cost of A to C. What is cost of A to C? It is 4, comma dB plus C of B to C. dB, what is the previous value of dB? It is 2. 2 plus cost of B to C. Cost of B to C is minus 3 plus minus 3, comma DC. Previous value of DC is 4. Right here 4. Now among these three, which is the minimum? The minimum among these three is minus 1. Okay. So I'll select minus 1 here and write here. Okay. So this was for the vertex C. For the vertex D, observe here carefully. For vertex D, how many ways are there? The first is from B, the second is from C, the third is from E. So I have 3 ways of reaching D. So what I will be doing is, for DC I will be for DD I will be writing, for distance to D I will be writing DD is equal to minimum of the first one, DB plus cost of H from B to D, comma DC plus cost of H from C to D, comma DE plus cost of H from E to D, and DD itself. Now calculating all these 4, how many values are there? See here, what is the value of DB? See the previous value of DB, it is 2. 2 plus cost of B to D, it is 1. 2 plus 1, comma DC, what is the previous value of DC? 4. 4 plus C, cost of C to D, what is the cost of C to D? It is minus 4. Right here minus 4, and comma what is DE? DE, the previous value is infinite, so right here infinite plus C of E to D, cost of E to D, what is that? 4. Right here 4, and DD itself is the previous value, which is infinite. Okay, after writing these 4 values, we have to calculate which is the minimum among these 4. This is the minimum, which is 4 minus 4, and it's 0. Okay, so 0 I will be writing here. Alright, next I will be calculating for DE. For DE, how many ways are means how many ways we can travel to E? 2 ways we can travel, one from C and another from B. Okay, so I'll be considering DC and DB, 2 ways. Okay, so I'll be writing here DE is equal to minimum of DC plus cost of C to E, comma DB plus cost of B to E. Now filling in these values, what is DC? The previous value of DC is 4. 4 plus cost of C to E, what is cost of C to E? Minus 2, comma DB, what is the previous value of DB? 2. 2 plus cost of B to E is 5. So clearly this is smaller, 4 minus 2, so I'll be writing here 2, and the value of DE itself is infinite, so I'll be not considering that. Okay, the next one is DF. See, for DF, how many ways we can reach DF from D and E? So I'll be writing DF is equal to minimum among DD plus cost of h from d to f, comma dE plus cost of h from e to f. Now what is dd from the previous one? It's infinite, so I'll be writing here infinite plus cost of d to f is 8, comma dE is also infinite previously, infinite plus what is cost of e to f? E to f is 6, so I'll be writing here 6. So clearly these both will give the value infinite here, so I'll be writing the infinite as it is. Okay. Then for the third row, first we have to find out for dB. See dB, it will be fixed only because 2 times when it comes the same, after that you can write the same values here. Okay, 2 2 2, we need not check again. Okay, then for this one it's not same here, so we have to check it again. Now to reach C, how many ways I have? First one is through A and through B. So I'll write the formula here. The formula is dC is equal to minimum among dA plus cost of A to C, comma dB plus cost of B to C. Now observe here, what is dA? From previous value, what I get dA is 0, plus cost of A to C. A to C is 4, comma dB. What is the previous value of dB? 2. 2 plus cost of B to C is minus 3. So when I do this, I'll get the minimum value here minus 1. So I'll be considering it as minus 1. I'll write here as minus 1. When you get 2 times the same value, copy it down for the next rows also, because it will remain same. Okay. Then for DD, what is the formula for DD? How many how many ways we can reach DD? There are three ways. One from B, another from C, and the third one from E. So I'll be writing here the formula for DD as DD is equal to minimum among three values. First one is from B, so dB plus cost of B to D, plus DC plus cost of C to D, and then DE plus cost of E to D. All right, and DD itself, Okay. So now calculating these four values, what's the previous value of dB? dB's value is 2 plus cost of B to D, it's 1, comma dC plus cost of C to D. dC's previous value is minus 1 plus cost of C to D. For C to D it is minus 4 plus minus 4, comma DE. What is the value of DE previously? It is 2. 2 plus the cost is 4. 2 plus 4, comma what is the previous value of DD? It is 0. Okay. So after writing this, we'll be comparing which is the smallest. As you can see, this is the smallest, minus 4, minus 5. Okay, so I'll be writing here minus 5. All right, then next DE. What's the value of DE? The formula is, in how many ways we can reach E? One from B and another from C, and the third one is DE itself. So I'll be writing here DE is equal to minimum among dB plus cost of B to E plus comma DC plus cost of C to E and DE itself. Now comparing these three values, what I get is, we have to compare the previous row. What's the value of dB? It is 2. See here, the previous row is this one, the value of dB is 2. Cost of B to E, it is 5. 2 plus 5, comma DC. What is the value of C in the previous row? It is minus 1. Minus 1 plus C to E. What's the cost from C to E? It is minus 2 plus minus 2, comma D itself. What is the value of D? Previously it is 2. So I'll write here 2. Now what's the minimum among all these three? It is the middle one, which is minus 3. So I'll be updating this value here, minus 3. Okay. And then DF. What's the formula for DF? See, to reach DF we have two ways. First one is from D, second is from E, and DF itself. So the formula for DF will be DF is equal to minimum among DD plus cost of D to F, comma DE plus cost of E to F, and DF itself. Okay. So after writing these three values, what I'll be calculating is DD to DD. What is DD from the previous one? It is 0. 0 plus C of D to F. What is the cost of D to F? It is 8. 8 here, and DE, what is the value of DE previously? If we see, it is 2, 2 plus cost of E to F 6, comma DF itself, which is infinite. So calculating a least among these three, we get the value 8. It is same for both, so we can write here the value 8. Okay, that was for the third iteration. For the fourth iteration, see here, we have to calculate for DD. Okay, what's the formula for DD? It's coming from three parts. First one is from B, and second is from C, and third one is from E. Okay, so I'll be writing the formula DD is equal to minimum among DB plus cost of D to cost of B to D, comma DC plus cost of C to D, comma DE plus cost of E to D, and DD itself. Okay, now filling in these values here, looking at the previous row, what I get is DB. What is the value of DB in the previous row? It is 2. 2 plus cost of B to D, it is 1, comma DC. What is the value of DC? It's minus 1. Minus 1 plus cost of C to D. Cost of C to D is minus 4. So I'll be writing here minus 4, and DE. What's the value of DE? It's minus 3. Minus 3 plus cost of E to D. It is 4. Minus 3 plus 4, and DD itself, which is minus 5. Okay. Now see, which is the minimum among all of these? The minimum is minus 5 here, so I'll be writing here minus 5. Okay. So it's not going to change again. So I'll be copying this value down here also. We are left with 4 values here. Let's see what we can do for that. Next, we have to calculate for DE. What's the value of DE? Means how many ways we can reach DE? We can reach through B and through C and DE and E itself. Okay. So let's write down the formula. D is equal to minimum among from B, DB plus cost of B to E, comma DC plus cost of C to E, comma DE itself. Okay. So after writing these values, we'll be filling in the values looking at the previous row. DB is 2 plus 2 to E, how much it is? It is 5. Okay. 2 plus 5, and DE DC plus cost of C to E. DC is from the previous row, it is minus 1 plus C to E. How much is the cost from C to E? It is minus 2 plus minus 2, comma what is the value of DE previously? It is minus 3. So looking at this, what value I get is the minimum one is same as the previous one, which is minus 3. So I'll be writing here minus 3 and copying down here. Okay. Now the last one is DF. For DF, we have two ways. One is from DD and another is from DE. So let's write down the formula for DF. DF is equal to the minimum among DD plus cost of D to F, comma DE plus cost of E to F. Now looking at the previous row and filling in these values, what's the previous value of DD? The previous value of DD is minus 5. Minus 5 plus C cost of D to F. What's the cost of D to F? D to F, it is 8. I'll be writing here 8, and DE. What's DE? D is previous value. Looking at here, we'll get as minus 3 plus cost of E to F. It is 6. Okay, so I'll be writing here 6. Now, and DE itself. What is the value of DE? DF initially it is 8. Okay. So after writing these values, which is the minimum here, I'll get here as 3, and here also I'll get as 3. So the minimum is 3. Okay. I'll be writing here 3, and for the last one also I'll be calculating, since these both values are same, again I'll get the same value 3. Okay. So after getting this table, what you have to do is, the task is very simple. You have to see the last row. Okay, these are the shortest path. So you have to just write here from A, the shortest path to A is 0. Okay, for the first value. Then from A to B it is 2. These are the shortest path from the source vertex A to the respective vertices in this graph. Okay. Under the topic traveling salesman's problem, we have been given with this graph, and we have been asked to find out the optimal tool for the salesperson using dynamic programming. Okay, So firstly, when they give this graph to you, see, observe that all the vertices are connected by the edges, okay, and the weights are also given, okay. So we have to find out the optimal tour for the salesperson. So the first thing what you have to do is make a matrix by looking at it, okay. So how you will do that is count how many vertices are there. 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay. So I'll be making one matrix here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here also 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay. After making that, the diagonal elements will be 0 here, and I'll be filling the rest of the values by looking at the table. Now see, 1 to 2 means from 1 to 2. If I travel from 1 to 2, what is the weight? 10. So I'll be writing here 10, okay. And 1 to 3, 1 is here, 3 is here. 1 to 3, 15. 1 to 4, 1 to 4 means 20. In that way, I'll be filling the whole table. Alright, I have filled the table by looking at these values. Now we'll not be considering this graph, we'll be just considering the matrix for the rest of the problem, okay. Now what we have to find out is how many possibilities are there. See, there are 4 cities. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 cities, okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are 4 cities. Now from 1 the person can go to 2 or 3 or 4. Then from 4 he can go to 2 or 3, and from 2 and 3 he can go to 3, or from 2 he can go to 3, okay. Like that, how many possibilities are there? That all we will make a graphical representation. Now see here, from 1 the person can travel to three locations, right? First one is 2 or 3 or 4. Now from 2 the person can travel to 3 or 4, since 1 is already visited. From 3 the person can travel to 2 or 4. From 4 the person can travel to 3 or 2. And from 3, see, 1, 2, and 3 are traveled, so the remaining one is 4. So from 3 he can travel to 4. From 4 he can travel to 3, and 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, and 1, 4, 2, 3. After traveling all the cities, he has to go back to the city where he has started. So see here, all the vertices are connected here. So after traveling to 1, 2, 3, and 4, again he has to return to the same city. So at last I'll be drawing here the return to the same city as 1, okay. After each possible permutation will be returning to the same city, okay. Now see here, by looking at these graphs I can know, by looking at this matrix I can know what is the cost of traveling from 1 to 2, 10, 1 to 3, 15, or 3 to 2, 13. So in this all possible locations I'll be calculating the cost, okay. So for each of these I'll be writing here. See, we'll be starting from the bottom. For reaching from 4 to 1, see, at last he has to reach to the same city. So he has reached to the same city in this case from 4. So what is the cost of reaching from 4 to 1? See, 4 to 1 means 4 to 1, 8. So traveling this cost him 8 units, okay. So 8 units are charged, and traveling from to reach 4 he has to travel from 3. What is the cost of traveling from 3 to 4? 3 to 4, it is 12, okay. So this is 12 and this is 8. So the total cost is 12 plus 8, which is 20. I'll be writing here 20. Similarly, 2 to 3, what is 2 to 3? 2 to 3 is 9. 9 plus 20 is 29. So I'll be writing here 29. Through this path it cost him 29. In the same way I'll be calculating for all of these, okay. Like suppose 3 to 1, what is 3 to 1? 3 to 1 is 6. So I'll be writing here 6. And 4 to 3 is 9. So it will be 15, 9 plus 6, and from here it is 10, 2 to 4 is 10. So here it is 10 plus 15. See, this is 10 and here it is 15. So 10 plus 15 is 25. So from this path he got from 25, okay. So in that way I'll be calculating for the rest also. I've calculated for all these paths and I've written the values here, okay. So from this path it is 31, from this path it is 25, and from here 27, and from here 23. Now see, at this stage we have to choose only one, okay. Since only one we have to pass on to the final stage. So from this, which is the minimum, 29 or 25? So 25 is minimum, we will cut 29 and we'll pass 25 from here, and from here 25 is minimum, we'll pass 25 from here, and here it is 23, so we'll pass 23 from here. Now these paths, from this path the cost is 25, from here it is 25, and here it is 23. And now to calculate the final path, we have to calculate the sum from this path to this whole. Means we know the whole from here, only we need to consider 1 to 2. What is the cost from 1 to 2? From 1 to 2 it is 10, so 10 plus 25, so the total cost will be 35 if you choose in this path. Now in this path it is 1 to 3 plus 25. What is 1 to 3? 1 to 3 it is 15. 15 plus 25, what it is? 40. So I'll be writing 40 here. And from 1 to 4 to this path is 23. So from 1 to 4 the cost is 20. 20 plus 23 is 43. We have three paths here, we have to choose the minimum one, which is 35. So the minimum path from here it is this one, and from here the minimum path is this. So this is the most optimal solution for this problem. Okay, now let's see how to do that using a formula. So this is the formula. You have to write here: g of I comma capital S is equal to minimum of k belongs to S, C of ik plus g of k comma S minus set k. I'll be explaining this what it is. It's very easy. Just look at one example. It's very easy. See here, the starting vertex right here 1. Okay, from 1 where the person can go, either he can go to 2 or 3 or 4. Means from first city he can go to 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, so by using this formula we have this set here. This is nothing but S. If I write this formula here, first one is I is 1, so I'll be writing here 1, and the set which I have is 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that is equal to minimum of k. K I will keep as such, and S is equal to 2, 3, 4, this set. And C of ik, what is I have taken as 1, so 1k plus g of k comma S minus k. What is S? 2, 3, 4 minus k. Okay, so this is the formula. Let's see how to apply this formula. For the first one, I have three possibilities for choosing k. In each problem, we have to choose k. Okay, so this is the first one. I have to choose k value. In this, I can choose k as 2, 3, or 4. So I'll have three possibilities. I have to choose. I'll write minimum. For now, I'll be avoiding writing this k. I'll be writing directly c of 1k. K I can choose as 2 initially, so it will be C12 plus G of K I have chosen 2, comma, from 2, 3, 4. See here, 2, 3, 4 minus K. What is K here? 2. So 2, 3, 4 minus 2 is 3, 3, 4 only. So the remaining set will be 3, comma 4. This is one possibility. The second possibility is me choosing 3. So C of 1, 3 is G plus G into 3, comma, if I remove 3 from this set, I will be remaining with 2 and 4. Similarly, if I choose 4, I will be remaining with 4, comma 2, comma 3. Alright, this is the three possibilities. Then we have to find out we have to find out this answer, and this answer. Then choose the minimum among all of these, and then I'll get the most optimal path. Now, to show you graphically what does this represent is this one, which we had calculated. See here, I have taken this one 1 to 2, 3, or 4, and I got three possibilities here. So I choose from 1 to among these three. So the three options which were here is from 1 to 2, 3, or 4, and this one represents cost of 1 to 2. Cost of 1 to 2 means this cost plus g of this one 2, comma 3, comma 4. This value will give me the minimum cost among this. Okay, and the second one 1, 3. 1, 3 means the cost from 1 to 3 plus this one. 1, 4, the cost from 1 to 4 and plus this one. Okay, so after getting the sum of all of these, I'll be finding the minimum among these three. Okay, so this was the first stage which I have done. Now what's my task is, I know the values of C12, 13, and 14 because we have created a matrix here. C of 12 is this one, 13 is this one, 14 is this one. But what we need to find is the values from here. See, these are the values which we need to find out. We have not yet found out this one. For that, we have this same formula here. G of 2, comma 3, comma 4 g of 3 comma 2 comma 4, g of 4 comma 2 comma 3. By applying the same formula which I have used here, I'll get the values of these three. So let's find out what are the values of these three. For that, I will be writing the same formula here. G of 2 comma 3 comma 4. Now in this case, I'll be writing minimum. In this case, I is 2. Before it was 1, now it is 2. So I'll be writing C of 2k plus G of k comma, the set is 3 4, 3 comma 4 minus the set k. Now how many values I have for k? I have two possibilities for k. The first one is 2 3 plus G of, if I choose here 3, at that time I have to remove 3 from this set, so I'll be remaining with 4. Alright, then the second possibility is choosing 4, C of 2 4, C of 2 4 plus G of, I've chosen 4 comma, if I remove 4 from this, I'll be remaining with 3. Okay, so I've got this value for this one. Similarly, I'll write the value for this one also. I've used the formula and written the values for this set. I have two possibilities for k, 2 and 4. So I took 2 and removed 2 from here. I'll be remaining 4. And in the second case, I have removed 4 by choosing 4 as k, and I'll be remaining with 2 here. Now for the third one also, I'll write in the same way. Okay, for this one, I've written the third formula here. For this one, the expansion is this one. Okay, now we have completed with these three. Now if we find out the answer for this and this, we can substitute back in these three and get the final optimal solution. Now for finding out these three, we have to find out what is this and this and this and this. Okay, so let's find out what are these values. So let's write the formula in the same way. I'll be writing this. G of, the first one is 3 comma 4. Okay, that is equal to minimum of C of I is 3, so 3k plus G of k comma, the set is 4 minus k, and here I have only one possibility of k, which is 4. Okay, so I'll be choosing k as 4, so it will be C 3 4 plus G of 4 comma 4 minus 4, it will be 0, so I'll be representing that by null. Okay, or 5. Now in the same way, I'll be doing for this one also, this, these two, and these two also. Okay, when I'll write those formulas, I'll be getting the equation similar to this one. Okay, so I've written the remaining values. Total are 6 values: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay, so when we expand, we get a similar case here, means 4 comma 5, 3 comma 5, and 2 comma 5. Okay, so we have to find out the values of 4 comma 5, 3 comma 5, and 2 comma 5. These are the constant values, which means, see here, if I show you graphically, it means this one, these paths. This is considered as 5 here. Okay, so the last point is considered as 5, 5 or 1, anything you can write here. Okay, it can be written as 4 comma 1 also. Okay, so these values we know from 4 to 1. From this table we can find out 4 to 1, 8. Okay, so this value is 8, 4 comma 5. Similarly 3 comma 5, 3 comma 5 means 3 comma 1, 6, then 2 comma 1, 5. Okay, so 8, 6, and 5 will get for 4, 3, and 2. That I'll be noting down here. Alright, by looking at the table, I have noted down the values of 2 comma 5, 3 comma 5, and 4 comma 5. Okay, now we have these values here, we can substitute back in these places. Okay, I've written the values of these values here. Okay, after that we have to find out these values: 3 4, 4 3, 2 4, 4 2, 2 3, and 3 4. These values we can get from the table. For example, C of 3 4, what is C of 3 4 here? C of 3 4, 12. Okay, so I'll be writing here, instead of 3 4, I'll be writing 12. Okay, like that I'll be doing for the rest of the values also. Alright, I have written these values looking at the table, and now I'll be adding these both and writing the answer here. Now since there is only one value, the minimum will be the same answer which I get here. So these values which I got here are nothing but the values for these formulas. Okay, g of 3 comma set 4 20, g of 4 comma set 3 15. Like that, all these values which you got here will be substituting in the upper equation. We'll be using these values in the upper equation. For example, a g of 3 comma 4, where we had needed g of 3 comma 4, the first one here. See here, in the place of this I'll be substituting, I'll be in the place of g of 3 comma 4, I'll be writing 20. Okay, so instead of this I'll be writing 20, and in the place of 4 comma 3 I'll be writing 15. 4 comma 3 is here, I'll be erasing this value and I'll be writing 15. In the same way I'll fill these both and these both also. Okay, I've filled these values by looking at these formulas here, and the next step is to look at the table and fill these values c23, c24. Those all values we can directly fill from looking at the table. I filled the values by looking at the table, and I have made these boxes because it will be confusing to know what equation we have to consider now. Okay, now what I will be doing is I have to calculate this sum and choose the minimum. 29 plus and here 25, which is the minimum? 25. Okay, and this one 13 plus 18 and 13 plus 12, 13 plus 18, 31 and 25 here. So we will get as 25 the minimum, and from here 8 plus 15, 23, and 9 plus 17, 26. 23 and 26, the minimum one is 23, so I'll be choosing here 23. So we got the values for this one, and this one. Okay, after getting these three values, we'll be writing those values in the main equation instead of these three. Okay, and we'll be adding with these three values. Okay, so here I got 25, so instead of this I'll be writing 25, and here it is 25, and here it is 23. Adding with 1 2, what is c of 1 2? Looking at the table, I get the value here as 10, and c of 1 3, is 15, and c of 1 4 is 20. Okay, so adding these 20, adding this both, I'll get as 43. 15 plus 25 is 40. 10 plus 25 is 35. Okay, so the least value I got here is 35, which is the most optimal solution. Okay, in this way we have to find out the optimal solution for this problem.